Rain tapped softly against the windows of Mason High School's cafeteria, drowning out the scattered laughter of teenagers lost in their own worlds. At a corner table, Liam Parker sat alone, nursing a paper cup of lukewarm coffee. He was there only because his 10-year-old son, Noah, had begged him to visit for the school's parent appreciation lunch. Liam wasn't one for crowds, but for Noah, he'd show up anywhere. He had no idea that within minutes, the room would erupt into chaos, and that his quiet, unassuming life was about to collide with a secret worth millions. A commotion broke out near the lunch line. A group of seniors, known for their arrogance, had surrounded a woman who looked far too young to be one of the teachers. She was dressed plainly, dark jeans, a loose sweater, and a baseball cap pulled low. Her tray had slipped from her hands, scattering sandwiches and fruit across the floor. "Watch where you're going, lady," sneered one of the boys, shoving her backward. She stumbled, barely catching herself on the edge of a table. Laughter rippled through the crowd. I'm sorry," she murmured, her voice calm but trembling. Liam's jaw tightened. He hated that tone, the sound of someone trying to shrink out of existence. It reminded him of his late wife, who'd once faced the world with that same quiet endurance before illness had stolen her away. When one of the boys pushed the woman again, sending her sprawling onto a lunch table, Liam was already moving. "Enough," his voice cut through the noise like a blade. The bullies turned, amusement flickering to annoyance. "Who's this?" the janitor, one of them scoffed, eyeing Liam's worn boots and calloused hands. "Apologize," Liam said evenly. The leader smirked. "Or what, old man?" Liam stepped closer. His tone stayed low, but something in his stance, shoulders squared, eyes steady, made the laughter die. The cafeteria fell silent. Even Noah, frozen near the door, felt the air change. "You think being strong means hurting someone smaller than you?" Liam asked. "Try being strong enough to protect someone instead." For a heartbeat, the boy looked ready to retort. Then Liam took another slow step forward, and the confidence drained from his face. The rest of his friends shuffled backward. Within seconds, the group was gone, muttering excuses as they bolted for the door. Liam exhaled and turned to the woman, offering a hand. "You all right?" She hesitated, then took it. Her grip was firm, not the touch of someone weak. Up close, Liam noticed something else, eyes that carried both sharp intelligence and deep exhaustion. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." "You didn't," Liam replied. They did. An hour later, after the students dispersed and the cafeteria returned to its usual buzz, the woman found Liam waiting near the exit. Noah had gone back to class, and Liam was ready to leave, but she stopped him. "You shouldn't have done that," she said softly. He frowned. "Shouldn't have helped?" "Not for me." She glanced around before lowering her voice. "I'm not who they think I am." Liam crossed his arms. "Then who are you?" For a moment, she seemed to debate whether to tell him. Then, almost as if relieved to say it out loud, she replied, "Emily Ross, CEO of Harkwell Industries." Liam blinked. Harkwell was one of the largest tech firms in the country. Her name was on magazine covers, though in those photos, she looked nothing like the woman before him. "I've been visiting schools anonymously," she explained. "We're funding a national education program. I wanted to see how the money actually helps students, without the press, without the board watching my every move." "Guess you saw more than you expected," Liam said quietly. Emily smiled faintly. "I did. And I saw something else, someone who steps in when it's not his fight." He shrugged. "It was the right thing to do." She studied him for a long moment. "Most people don't anymore." Days passed. Liam thought that would be the end of it, until an official letter arrived in his mailbox, embossed with Harkwell's insignia. It invited him to a meeting at their downtown office. He almost didn't go. Men like him didn't belong in glass towers. But curiosity, and a promise to his son to always see what happens next, won out. When he arrived, Emily was waiting. Gone was the sweater and cap. She wore a tailored suit, her hair swept back, confidence radiating from every movement. Yet when she smiled at him, it was the same warmth from that day in the cafeteria. "I wanted to thank you properly," she said. "I looked into you, Mr. Parker. Single father. Mechanic. 2 jobs. You're the kind of person who keeps the world running while no one's watching." Liam shifted, uncomfortable under her praise. "You don't owe me anything." "Maybe not," Emily said, "but I owe your son a better world to grow up in. And I think you can help." She slid a folder across the desk. Inside was an offer letter, project manager, Harkwell Community Initiatives. Salary far beyond anything Liam had ever imagined. He stared at her. "Why me?" "Because you do the right thing when no one's watching," she said simply. "And that's exactly what I need." Months later, the cafeteria incident had become a quiet legend at Mason High. The bullies never returned. Rumor had it their parents got unexpected calls from the district board and from Harkwell's legal team. Liam, meanwhile, found himself leading projects that changed small towns like his own. Emily visited often, sometimes sharing stories about her hidden travels, sometimes just joining Liam and Noah for dinner like an old friend. What began as an act of kindness in a school cafeteria had turned into something far greater, a partnership built on respect, purpose, and the simple belief that compassion still mattered. And though no one in that cafeteria ever truly knew what happened that day, those who witnessed it remembered one thing clearly: when the bullies ran, it wasn't because they feared a man's strength. They feared the truth in his courage, and the quiet power of someone who refused to look away.